welcome back to the Body Art Show. I'm Julie Tattam from the Global College of Body Art. Tonight on the show we have a real treat. We're talking with Craig Tracy, world champion body painter and one of the most well-known body artists in the world. Craig is a judge and producer of Skin Wars, and we are privileged to have him here tonight to talk to us about his experiences on the show.
How you going?
Hello, hello.
Early in the morning over there for you.
It is morning in America right now, and I understand it's very late at night where you are.
Just after midnight. So, no, well,
Right.
thank you so much for getting up and joining us.
Absolutely. I'm happy to be here. I'm always happy to talk about body painting. I watched your first show and enjoyed it and thought you did a great job.
Oh, thank you very much. Most of the people watching this are going to know exactly who you are and why you're so amazing. But if you could just tell us, apparently you picked up your first airbrush when you were 15. So how did you get into body painting?
My story, I'm old, so it's a long story, but to keep it short, at 15 years old, I picked up, actually for my 15th birthday, got my first airbrush and compressor, and that led me into a more professional world where I was charging people money for the work I was creating. I had always been an artist before that, but not until I got the airbrush did I move along. I go to art school after high school, became an illustrator. The first body painting that I did was when I was 23 years old. I can't tell you what year that was, but probably somewhere around 1990.
Yeah.
And it was just sort of a prank for a radio station contest.
Right.
And it wasn't even my idea. It was the model. The model was a friend. She called me up and she said, "Hey, can you paint me naked, with the logo of the radio station?" I paused for a moment and then I thought to myself, that's not interesting enough. And I told her, I said, "I will paint you if we photograph you in front of the police station."
Right.
So my first ever body painting was a law-breaking event, and we got away with it, so that worked out.
Was there any police intervention at all?
No, luckily we got away with it. I guess it all got done within 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And we didn't go to jail. I was actually thinking I might go to jail that night. Because we got away with it, I felt a little bit of, reckless abandon.
Yeah.
So we went and also photographed her in front of the city hall and the courthouse.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
And so how many body paintings would you say you've done now?
Well, before I became a fine art body painter, which is what I've been doing for the last 8.5 to 10 years, probably 10, I had done whatever people would pay you for, right?
Yeah.
So I would paint for, we have a Mardi Gras here. I know there's a Mardi Gras in Sydney. Mardi Gras is a giant carnival. I think it's the second largest carnival in the world, and it happens in my hometown. So I would paint sometimes just mostly faces for Mardi Gras, and then Halloween,
Yeah.
Halloween is a huge event in the United States, but it was only those 2 times a year that I would paint on skin. And then that led me to thinking, what if I took this seriously, what if body painting was something that I focused on as a serious art, and what would happen with that? My goal was to not work, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So to just paint whatever I'd like and then sell that as fine art.
Yeah.
And so I created a gallery for it. The gallery is now 8.5 years old. It makes me very happy. It's here in New Orleans.
Yeah.
It's an international city, so we get people from all over the world. Yeah. And my gallery is right in the middle of all of that. It's called the French Quarter.
Yeah, yeah.
So right in the middle of the French Quarter on a street called Royal Street,
yeah.
Where there are, as well as maybe 30 other art galleries, I have a gallery for body painting. Every day, about 120 maybe people. When it's busier, we might have 300 people come through.
Yeah.
But it's amazing. And it sells art every day. I mean,
Yeah.
if a day goes by where nothing sells, it's very strange.
That's so great. So body
Yeah.
painting is really getting out there, and you're finding yourself that body painting is more in the eyes of the public these days, do you think?
Absolutely. You know, it's in the media, and recently now it's on television,
That's
and
right. That's right.
it's getting its own spot. So,
Yeah. Tell us about Skin Wars. We're very excited. We don't have it here in Australia yet, but we hear it's doing amazingly in the US.
well, Skin Wars, I got a phone call about 2 weeks ago from one of the from the executive producers saying that the ratings were great.
Fantastic.
So, and I, you know, and this has been discussed a little bit on the web, but the ratings have been great. We're really excited, and we're, you know, fingers crossed, hopeful that we'll have a second season and a third and a fourth.
Fantastic. Great.
But no definite news on that right now. We're just
Yep.
doing the best job we can to
Yeah.
have as many viewers, because it's all about how many viewers. But
That's right.
so far, it looks very positive.
That's so great. How did you come to be involved in Skin Wars?
Well, my co-judge, Robin Slonina, Robin called me. She lives in Las Vegas. I just happened to be in Las Vegas, called me. I thought somehow magically she knew I was in her city, but it was just a coincidence. She had been working with the production company earlier and listed me as one of the people that might should be involved. But Robin brought me into the project, and then I got to work with the producers for about a year and a half before the show was ever sold.
I can imagine, because you're such an authentic person, that you would have been very concerned about the integrity and making sure it just didn't become one of those scripted shows. Did you have much input into that?
Yeah, the anybody that knows me personally knows that I talk very openly, honestly. I kind of don't fear anything, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So when it came to signing a contract with a production company, luckily I did get to meet with the executive producers personally. I got to meet with the network personally before I was ever signing a contract. And it felt like things were going good. And Robin was also very concerned about this because she had worked with a previous production that wasn't so authentic. Okay.
Okay.
So when we get on set, we're still a bit nervous. Are they going to try and control us, manipulate us? And I'm very, very happy to say that they did not. Like,
Great.
the judging was absolutely legitimate. The show was absolutely a joy to work on for me,
Yeah.
because I didn't have anyone saying, no, unfortunately, you know, we're going to do this or we're going to do that.
Yeah.
It never went down like that.
Yeah. Did you find that they represented people the way that they really represented themselves on the show?
Well, we know that no one's going to watch a show that has no, I guess, highs and lows. I guess you have to have highs and lows in a show. But if you've ever been in a room with a bunch of body painters, sometimes there's just natural chaos. The pressure is amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you're dealing with all of these other personalities that you may or may not know. You're all in the same house. You're working in
together for that
They
period of time?
do.
Do
They do.
Okay.
I mean, let them tell you more about it, but
Yeah.
they don't have their phones. They don't have their computers.
Right.
They don't have pencils and pens. They're really, really controlled. Their meals are controlled. So you can get a little, you know, edgy. Yeah. And some people can get on your nerves, let's say. And I remember being on set, you know, some people are not very nice sometimes.
So what was the process for casting?
I would help feed artists to the casting producer.
Right.
And the casting producer then would analyze that person, talk to that person, see if that person would be willing to be on camera. Would
Yeah.
that person be able to handle 7 cameras and microphones?
Yeah.
And so there was a casting where they brought, I think about 24 people together in Los Angeles,
Mm.
and they gave them a body paint day, you know?
Right. Yeah.
Here's the challenge. You're going to be judged and do your best. And some people did great and some people didn't.
So you're happy with the way that body painting's been represented on the show so that it has a positive impact on the industry?
First off, people fear things.
Yeah.
I'm not one that fears things much, the sexualization of the
Yeah.
human body and women's issues. Body painting is on naked people. Naked people will be perceived by others, however, their filter. Some people have an adolescent perspective. Some people just don't want the human body to be non-sexual. I'm one of them. I don't want sex eliminated from my life. I don't want to look at a naked woman the same way that I look at a naked man and just be numb in that sense, There is a certain element of sensuality, sexiness, playfulness that I love about body painting. I love that there's always this tension that is, the naked body versus the clothed body. Skin Wars has played with the sexuality or sensuality, but I think they've done it in a lovely way. It's going to be hard to please everyone, but as a body painter who makes his living body painting, to see a show, a fully budgeted show with advertising and promotion and beautiful lighting, celebrities.
Yeah.
And it's showing a range of body painting. The challenges are varied. The artists are varied.
Like working with the celebrities.
Working with celebrities is like kind of surreal, I guess. I've been a fan of both our host, Rebecca Romaine, and our co-judge, RuPaul, for like 20 years, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm a fan of these people. I respect their work. And then I'm sitting with them discussing the thing that I love the most in the world. It was a delight to find out that they were going to be involved because, of course, celebrities bring more viewers.
Yeah, that's right.
If RuPaul doesn't get your attention because, let's say, you're homophobic or you don't relate to anything feminine, then hopefully Rebecca Romaine will get your attention because you're a stereotypical straight guy, and she, is a delight to look at and listen to. Yeah. And she brings such a unique caliber to the show because she's also been a body paint model at the highest level.
Yeah.
For those that don't know Rebecca Romaine, she's been painted by Joanne Gare for the Sports Illustrated swimsuit, which is the biggest magazine in this hemisphere for sure. And it involves body painting. And Rebecca Romaine was in the very first of those models that were painted.
That.
And it was a huge deal.
Yeah.
And then she's Mystique in the first, I think, 2 or 3 X-Men movies.
Yeah.
And she's covered from head to toe in blue. So
yeah. So she knows what's involved.
She absolutely knows. Yeah.
So what do you think was your favorite experience from being involved in the show?
Oh man, my absolute favorite part of the whole experience would be getting to give a $100,000 prize.
Yeah, right.
To a fellow body painting artist.
Yeah, and that would make such a difference.
What a privilege for me and the rest of the judges to be able to offer that, which can be in some ways life-changing.
Oh, absolutely.
Most of the artists in Skin Wars, this is a lot of money,
to anyone.
you know, I don't know of any competition on the planet that offers a prize even close to that, right?
Mm.
And so the feeling of being able to offer that to someone was a champagne moment.
We can't wait to get it down here in Australia. We're dying.
Uh,
I want to know when it's coming.
it is the goal of everyone involved to make sure that this show gets to be global.
What do you think makes a prize-winning body painter?
Great question. This is what I think so many people in the world don't understand, you know? Um, you have criteria, and those criteria are down on a sheet. And sometimes it's computerized, like at the World Body Painting Festival. And at Skin Wars, we had booklets, you know? And the booklets were amazing, by the way, to help us go through the judging process.
Yeah.
You judge based on the theme.
Yeah.
You judge based on technique.
Mm-hmm.
And perhaps the like overall look, and you judge based on the creativity. And in my world, and whenever I get to help influence judging, creativity is on par with technique.
Right.
So let's remember, everyone, that a machine can do incredible technique.
Right. Yeah.
You can, I watched an airbrushing robot when I was in my teen years at a Disney park, airbrushing t-shirts.
Yeah, yeah.
And, you know, that's back in the 80s. Machines can do amazing technique.
Yeah.
But they can't do what it is that makes an artist an artist. What makes an artist to me is what comes from the soul, the creativity, the emotion.
Yeah.
So technique is very important to communicate an idea. But if the idea is weak, you have a very well rendered skull, or a very well rendered rose, or a very well rendered whatever, you know, body painters tend to fall on. But the creativity aspect of it is a big part of the judging.
So there's something that I've heard about you that many people might not know, is that you've got this incredible ability to portray depth in your artwork, but you don't have very much depth perception because you have a serious eye condition. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, I would say this is one of those things that I don't talk about. In general, I don't talk about it.
Yeah.
I was born with a birth defect, and the only person that I've ever met that has the same birth defect as me is my brother.
Really?
And he's 3 years younger than me, and he actually manages my gallery, so we're very close.
Yeah.
But basically, the eye condition is severe farsightedness.
Okay.
And when I say severe, I mean severe. My eyesight with contact lenses is not good enough to drive a car.
Whoa. So how do you paint like you do?
Well, if you ever look at me painting, you'll notice that I get very close to the surface.
Yeah.
So when you see me painting, like let's say I'm painting my hand, I will literally get this close to it.
Yeah, wow.
And then if I'm using reference, I'll blow the reference up huge so that I can see. But I just make the best of it. I use the camera, the computer to help blow things up. My eyesight is unfortunately getting worse. So, you know, I'll deal with it. And someone asked me in an interview, you know, what happens if you go blind? And I quickly then say, I will become a sculptor. My whole career is built on trying to bring body painting to a level where it is respectable. It is in art galleries. 99% of the work that I create winds up in people's homes. It's not some novelty, a novelty that they saw at an event, but it's literally them bringing body painting into their homes and into their lives.
Yeah.
And being able to bring a little bit of that to Skin Wars is wonderful.
I think anything that raises the profile of body painting has got to be positive, right?
Absolute nothing. I fear, like, we've seen everything, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
we've seen the sexualization. There's been body painting in porno movies.
Right.
There's good body painting. There's bad body painting. I'm on the jury, and I'm following the path of others.
Yep.
I've actually, in my home, I have the art of other artists that were before me.
Right.
I have
Great.
a Varushka. Are you familiar with
Varushka,
Varushka?
yeah,
Okay.
from the
So
70s.
I have a Varushka image right over there. You can't see it,
Yeah.
but it's from 1972.
Yeah, wow. Yeah.
I have books that I collect. I probably have the greatest collection of body painting books in the world. And if anyone thinks they have a better collection, I challenge you to that.
I've got a
But
pretty big collection. Your book was my first in my collection.
oh, well, I have, well, thank you. I have 32 books on the subject of body painting, and
Yeah.
they're not face painting books. They're not, these are, like, amazing books. And, you know, it's an incredible art form. Everything's just going to the top. We need to work together
Yeah.
to keep it together,
Yeah. No, I agree. Thank you so much for your time. I know you're a busy man.
I got to go have breakfast. It's still
Right.
morning in America.
I got to go to bed. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much, and we look forward to seeing the rest of Skin Wars.
Hey, happy painting to everybody out there.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So that's it for tonight's show. Tune in next week when we speak with Gia Duran, understandably one of the fan favourites on Skin Wars. In future episodes, we'll then talk with Robin Slanina and a number of other cast members. Thank you for joining us. I'm Julie Tattam from the Global College of Body Art. Good night.